Earlier, it doesn't used to tell. Now only it is. Do you
Yes, yes.
hear it
Yeah,
earlier?
yeah, I can hear.
No, right? Yeah. Earlier, when I was starting, I did not hear this voice.
I think,
Recently, it is.
yeah, recently, it is showing like to everyone it's getting recorded like that.
Yes, yes.
The same in Microsoft Teams also, right?
Right. It is asking for a consent, right? Do you want to be in the meeting? Because it's getting recorded. All right. So I will start from where I left. I'll quickly go over what we discussed yesterday. Uh, so the basic is to start working on this Hibernate thing. First is you need to have a Maven project, and in form.xml, I gave the Hibernate jar reference. That is the first step. Here it is, Hibernate core. So I gave this dependency. So what will happen is it will search for the org.hibernate artifact, which is a jar file. 5.3.7 jar will be downloaded here. I got it here. And the supporting jar, if required, will be downloaded. Otherwise, that will be taken care by the Maven. So that is the first step. Once we have the Hibernate supporting libraries, now we can go into the project. So I have the main application. I wrote a util file. In the util file, we create a session factory. We write a method to generate a session factory with the URL, username, password. And from the main program, I start the session factory. And the first class, we went over the theory, the concepts. Then I showed how to do some basic fetching using the restrictions. We saw how to do joins and like using the like operator and order, listening, ascending, and projections, paginations, all those things we saw. All we are doing is using a standalone application of main program. Next week, we will be taking this code and we will put it into the web application which we developed the other day.
Okay.
There is a web application which we developed, right? We have a JSP and it is connecting to Spring Boot. So when we hit welcome, the welcome came. When I went to the page, we were fetching the data and displaying in the JSP using the JSTL tags.
Okay.
That part we wrote using JDBC query. Now we have to replace that. So that stage we will see how Hibernate is integrated with Spring. The configuration part will slightly change. So these things will slightly change because Spring will handle everything. The connections, session factory, everything will be handled by Spring. So we will see how it is configured in Spring. For today, we will continue and we will see two concepts. We will continue with the many-to-one and one-to-many. And from what I have seen so far in my career, how much ever you read one-to-many and many-to-one, 99% of the people, including me, we forget the mapping when we come to the live project. When we are going to set up for the first time, I used to forget always. I used to get confused between one-to-many and many-to-one, especially this. The place I get confused is this one. Even yesterday, if you noticed, I gave the other column ID. This column ID never remains in my memory. I remember all the concepts, everything, but it takes like few minutes for me to refresh this concept alone if I'm going to write, even for myself, because it is a bit confusing at the start, but not for everyone. But just sharing my thing. And 100% you will be using the one-to-many and many-to-one. If it is a Hibernate application, definitely we'll have one-to-many and many-to-one. There is a rare chance that we'll use one-to-one and many-to-many. There are two other joins, one-to-one and many-to-many. Rarely we'll be using it. So we will see the same example on one-to-many and many-to-one today, and we will go over a few more examples. Okay, so What we did yesterday was this structure user, for every user record, there are multiple entries in the address table, meaning address table will have, it is not definitely, might have more than one record with the same user. See, 1, 1, 1, 1. This is what one to many means. One record in one entry in user table will have multiple entries in address table. And many to one is many address record will be linking to a same user. This address record is linking to 1. This is also linking to user 1. These two are also linking to user 1. So that is many to 1 and 1 to many. To do that in the mapping, in the user 1 to many is always a collection. So we declare a address collection here, and 1 to many is the syntax. We go, okay, there is something as cascade all. I'll come to that quickly. And name is equal to user ID FK. This is the column in the address table which has to be mapped. And in the address table, so both the places will be giving the same column. That is what will make me confused always. So user ID FK, this is the address table column. So we used to think like this is the other place. So we should give the user ID. That's why I gave here, but this is also in the address table. So
No, that means the same table right here.
Same table.
Okay.
This column itself. In this address table, we have a column as user ID FK. This column only we have to give in both the mapping. Okay. Now this is as an object. So, and we saw that we are creating a parent-child relationship. So we form a parent object. We form a child object. To the child object, we tell which is its parent. Give the user object without the ID, because the ID will be created freshly. We don't know what is the primary key, but whatever may be the primary key, this is your parent. So it is Hibernate responsibility to update the ID in the address table automatically. And we set the we add the address to the list, that is a set, and then we set it inside the parent. Here we can have multiple address. This is the first address. I will add 2 more address. So address 1, I'll give address 2. Address 1. So the same user is going to have 3 address, and all the 3 address is going to have the same parent. That's what is important. The parent is 1, user is 1. The same object only we are going to give as a link in all the 3 tests. Now this is address 1. Address 1. Let this be address 2. And this will be address 3. So now technically what we are doing, we have one parent object, user object, and for one user object we are having 3 address. So what should happen? 1 insert into user table, 3 inserts into the address table with the same user ID, the last inserted user ID. So here 20, 21, 22, 3 records should be inserted, and 25 is the user ID. So for all the 3 address ID, 25 should be the user ID here.
Okay. We are mapping 3 user IDs with 1, right?
3 address ID with the same user ID.
Same user ID. Okay.
So we have the address 1, address 2, address 3, and this is the okay. I forgot to do one thing. I have to add these address into the set, right? I have added only one address now. The same way I have to add the second address, third address, address 1 and address 2. So the address set is having now 3 address. This address set is set in the parent. So this user is going to have 3 address. This set is going to have 3 data in it. Single user object. I save the single user object. 1 insert into the user and 3 insert into the address because the address set is having 3 data in it. What are the 3 data? This is first data, and this is the second data, and this is the third data. Let me run. And handling these will be very tough in manually. The beautiful thing is if we have multiple tables, it would automatically see here beautifully it has done everything has done. 3 inserts. First insert in the user, the 3 inserts into the address, and 3 update. See, it is triggering the update query. '20, '21, '25 as expected. So everything is worked perfectly, and all the queries generated with just one single save because the mapping is taking care of everything. If we had to do this manually, then it would be a challenge for us.
Manually means Rajesh?
Insert query using JDBC.
Okay.
Without using Hibernate, if I'm going to do like this, select statement, insert query here, I have to insert 3 times, 3 statements I have to execute update, and then I have to get the latest ID. 2021, okay. I have to update the user ID. So that's a big, tough one. Because I don't know the ID as 25, right? So I have to fetch the latest ID, and then I have to update that ID here. So there will be one select query to fetch the latest user ID. But here everything is eliminated, and it just take it. The more beautiful thing is, let us say the address table is going to have one more child. Okay, and what can we have? Let's create one table. T004 address, let us say zip code. No, for address, okay, address zip code. So zip ID, it is an int and the primary key, auto increment. The second column is zip code, which is a varchar of 10 length, and that's all. The table is created. I need to do one more thing. I need to do a relationship. So foreign key. Foreign key is the address ID. I have to do address ID. Otherwise, I will not know for which address this zip code is. Foreign key referencing column is the address ID. From which table I have to take address table, address ID. So I set a foreign key. So after I set a foreign key, one second. Okay, so after I set a foreign key, I'll go to the Hibernate now. So what I have to do, I have to create an equivalent Kojo. I'll go to new class. What is the table name? Address zip. Just for it is not mandatory that you should do everything same. You can have everything different except the column name. But just for identification, I give everything as same. No special reason. Here I will copy this and I'll reuse just the whatever is given in the double quote. This has to be the same. You need not have the same Java class. This whatever is in the double quotes blue color, that has to be same as per the table. Now I'll copy this, I'll paste here, I'll get rid of these getters and setters. Okay, ID auto generated. What is a primary key column? Zip ID. So this has to be zip ID. I can here zip ID. Zip code, and address ID. Okay, let me name it as FK just so that we can understand it better. Okay. This is the this has to be address ID, the other table. And here I will give address object, and this will be T002 address, zip code address. Okay, now I'll generate the getters and setters. So generate getters and setters, select all. Okay. Then, okay, so this is done. In the address, it is going to be set. From the user, I'll copy this syntax. I'll create here. The address is going to have T003 or T004. 04 address zip. So address zip set. Okay, what is the column? It should be the it should be the column from the this table FK. Here also it should be the same column. Here also it should be the same column. We are good with this. I will generate getters and setters for this. Generate getter and setter. Okay. So I have this ready. Super. So next is I will show in the schema what is there. If I drag drop this address zip, it is going to have a relationship with the address table. So it is a 1 to many. If I take it here, as you can see here. So 1 to many. So now
One to
when
many, one to many. Okay.
now I will save user object. It has to save the address object. It has to save the address zip object also automatically. And all the keys relationship has to be set perfectly. This ID should be saved here. This ID should be saved here. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So for that, we have to let us close all these things now. Everything. So we'll go to the object. So parent object user. That is done. We have the first address object. We have the second address object. We have the third address object. Okay. Now address and address zip are the parent child. Correct? So we will form the same relationship how we did for user and address to address and address zip. So after I form the address object, I have to form a child for the address object. The child for address object is T004 address zip object 1 equal to new T004 address zip object 1 dot set zip code. I will append address 1 so that we know that it is address 1 zip code. Okay, so now this is a child of address 1. But we know that it is a child, but for the program to know, we have to tell its parent. So child zip dot set address, that is a parent. Which is the parent? T002 address object is the parent. So we gave the identification of parent to the child. Now the parent should know its child. The other side of relationship is pending. For that, I'll give this dot who are your children set address zip set. The zip set is not there, so I will create a set here. T004 address no set of T004 address zip set 1 equal to new hash set T004. Now I have to add the child into the add address zip 1. Now this child set I have to give it to the parent. This is the address zip which is a child. I add it to a set. I set into the parent.
Okay.
So this is, you are following?
Yeah, just we are giving the mapping. Mapping means just to which user it has to go to the address, to which table, like that.
Correct. Yes. To the user, we give the address at the end here. To the user, I give the address set here. For the first address, I'll focus only on this now. For the first address, we set the address related value. We give the, what is this? Yeah, this is the address. This is the address T002. For the address, I give the address text and I give the parent. The same way for address zip, the parent is address. For the third table, second table is the, so this is a table. You have to see this as a user table, address zip table. So for the third table, I give the second table as a parent. For the second table, I set the third table set as a children. Now, let me add one more child. This is first zip. This is address 1 zip 1. Address 1 zip 1, address 1 zip 2. So this will be the second zip object of the first address. And this is a set, this is okay. Now here I have to add the second address. Second address zip. So for the same address, I am setting, for this address object, I have set a set. This set is 2 data. So this is the third table. Now what should happen? 1 insert into user, 3 insert into address. For the first address, 2 insert into the address zip table. Do you follow?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me delete this so that the complexity is. This mapping alone is the key thing. If you crack that mapping, if you understand that, that's all. There is nothing easier. You can easily solve everything. Okay, so let's see if everything is good. Okay, using one to, what is it? Using one to many or many to one, targeting an unmapped class Hibernate zip. Yes, because we added this class, we added everything in the Hibernate initialization. We didn't give this class. It is not mapped. The third class should be mapped here. That's all. 3, 4, 3004. 3004 address. Okay. Data too long for the zip code. I've given 10, but am I setting more than 10 here? Let me reduce it. I'll reduce the space. There we go. See here, one insert into a user, two insert into address, and two insert into address zip. This zip is for the first address. If you go to the table, everything should be perfectly set. The foreign keys and all, it should be beautifully set. So address 1 zip and address 1 zip 2 should be linked with the first address. Let's go here. So user, '27 is the latest ID which we inserted. If I go to address, two records with 27 should be there. Great. Address 1 and address 2. For which address we inserted two zip, this address 1. That means for 26, for address ID 26, there should be two entries in the zip table. Beautiful. See here. So we saw an example of how to save with 3 levels. I am only saving the user. Hibernate takes care of automatically inserting address. You can have n number. You can have 10 tables. Now you know the power of Hibernate, right? Of using Hibernate. With 3 tables and all, it is very tough to do insert query. You have to insert here, you have to insert 2 inserts here, automatic, you have to take the foreign key of this ID, update it here. You have to do 2 insert, take the ID automatically and then update. That's a nightmare. This is for the first zip. The same way for the second zip also we can have. This is the second address. For the second address, this is the address zip, right? Okay, I'll copy this. I'll copy this and I will paste it here. This is address 2 and address 2, address 2. Just that carefully you have to do the mapping. You have to understand first in your brain the clear picture. Okay, this is address 2 object. So this is the first zip object. So I'll name it as 3 because 1 and 2 I used it. So I'll give it 3. If you give here 3 and if you forget here, these will be mapped to the old one. You will be wondering why the IDs are not coming up correctly. That's the issue with copy paste. You should have a clear picture. But with practice, you will get it definitely. And for this zip object, which is the parent address, this is the parent. So we should do that carefully. So instead of address, I should give these are the now 3 and 4. I have to set it inside a set. I rename this set as 2 because 1 I have used it, and I'll add this 2 to an address object. Should I add it in the address object? No, I should add it in the address 1 object because address object is referring to the old one. Now after I set it, this is also set, this is also set. Now 1 insert into user, 2 insert into address, 4 inserts into the zip. See here how beautifully it's just is going on, right? It will be like a magic if you understand this clearly and if you do the mapping perfectly. That's all. You can do wonders. Like writing a business logic, it is a cakewalk. If you know this, but if you miss it, it's a nightmare. You will be debugging entire night. Why the ID is not mapping correctly? Because you would have, let us say, when during copy, if you by mistake you have set this object itself here, what will happen? The second zip will be associated with the previous record will be associated with a new ID with the second address instead of the first address, because the mapping is wrong. Writing these many insert queries manually is very tough. And I worked in projects where we used to have like 10 to 12 tables insertion at the same time. In real world scenario, it will not be just this much. Let us say when a sales order, let's take an example of a sales order. When you do a payment to a sales order or an invoice, when you do a payment, we have to update the sales order, we have to update the sales order detail, we have to update the invoice header, invoice detail. We will have a payment table, so payment header and payment details. We might have some history table where for every insert into this table there will be an insert in the history table. Address will have an history, which is like a log table. So default every table will have a log. So 6 plus 6, nearly 12 tables will be inserted with for just one payment, and writing 12 insert query and making it work will definitely cause manual error. But if you do like this, it is easy to debug the error also once you know it. So that is the advantage of knowing Hibernate. As I said again, this much power it is giving, and it will have the same amount of drawback if you don't understand it properly. So but this will come by practice. Once you have to practice, that's only way. You have to write lots of dummy applications in your system, like dummy contact. When I used to read, when I started my career, I used to develop contact application of storing. That time smartphone was not there, right? We used to store the contact in a diary, or the 1100 phone was having a less contacts. If it's missed, that's all. And SIM card, there was limited contacts. So what I used to do when I learned servlet, I developed a JSP application where I store the contacts. That is how I learned. And then I migrated to Struts, the same contact application. In my machine, I used to run a Tomcat. I used to search the contacts. Whatever we do in the smartphone now, I used to do in system that time, like 15 years back when I developed. Then when Hibernate came, I migrated that to Hibernate. When Flex came, I migrated that. After that, I couldn't. I stopped. Now I don't even have that source code. It was built a long back. So, but why I'm telling is, it's only through practice. Only through practice. Otherwise, debugging the error and showing is very tough. Unless you know it in by heart in your brain, it should be there in your blood. Okay, there's nothing in it. When I saw the error, I knew that, because I didn't give it in the util file, it is throwing error. I knew immediately. If you see here, none of the classes I bring up a pre-written program and I explain you a program. I just do it on the fly. On the fly, I think some logics and I develop the logics, and I create a files and all those things I do. Only through experience you should cross a lot. So my suggestion, you'll definitely get into it, you'll understand all these things. This is a very beautiful concept. This will help a lot of uh, time for you. But practice, just practice. Try to write with 10 tables, and if you are success, then that's all, you'll be mastering it. Any questions so far? Anything you want to repeat? Or okay,
Rajesh, it's clear. I can understand how the
yes,
mapping is going.
okay, super. Now we'll do the reverse. We saw how to save. We should know how to fetch the same, right? So we'll see how to fetch it. Okay, the entire code, I will, let me just take few minutes. I'll organize this code. I will, what I will do, I'll create one class, DAO, IMPL, and I'll push this code, public void save user. Okay, so I'll move this session factory here. Session factory. This will be initialized here only. It's only one time. So I'll pass this session factory to the DAO. So this session factory I'll use, and I'll create a session. You know what? Using the session.
That means Rajesh, this Hibernate, everything is focusing on the mapping.
Everything, yes.
Okay.
You can write queries also. You can ignore the mapping totally, and you can write queries also if you want. It is not
Okay,
forcing
that means
you.
no use of SQL here, right?
Yeah, when you go to mapping, there is no use of SQL. But
okay,
if you are an SQL user, you don't want to go to mapping, Hibernate allows you, gives the flexibility. It doesn't forces you that you have to definitely write mappings only. What it tells is, hey, I have one beautiful way of doing this. I can do it automated. But if you are a SQL guy and you want to write your own queries, you can definitely use my connection, my session factory, and you write your own query.
Okay, SQL guy on the other end, he can write his own queries. Here for mapping, and if you need something in Hibernate, we can do it, right?
Yes, and you can combine. You can combine SQL, you can combine mapping also. For one query, you can write SQL, the other query, immediately you can have a mapping. There is no restriction at all.
Okay. In JDBC, we can't write this. We can write queries, but it's complex.
It is complex. The complexity comes here, where, right? This is easy. We can easily insert into user. That is straightforward. After inserting the user, I have to know what is the primary key. Beforehand, we will not know it. Okay, because if let's say multiple users are using, we don't know which is the ID which is generated for me for my session, and this ID I have to take and I have to pass
Okay,
it
that
to.
means by using this Hibernate, some of the the guy no need here we no need of SQL guy. That's what you are telling to, right?
Yes. When you write in SQL, the mapping is difficult, meaning this ID has to be inserted here. This ID has to be inserted in 1 and 2 only. And the second address, where it is, this one more insert into address will be there, right? Yeah, here. This ID has to be inserted here. See, it is following up. See, first is address, the next two are its own children.
Okay.
Next is the second address, the second address children. If you try to insert, if you try to write a manual query using JDBC, it will be very complex. There will be lots of manual error. It will at least take 1 hour to do it properly. We wrote in like less than 10 minutes.
Okay.
Even an experienced expert guy, it will take like an hour definitely to write this, to form this queries and do the joins and not joins, to update with the relationship will definitely take an hour.
Could you please repeat the last statement what you said, Rajesh?
With an expert, with an expert JDBC guy, writing these many, like writing, inserting into user address, so 1 2 5 table, 6 7 8 8 inserts, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 updates. So with an expert SQL guy using JDBC, 8 plus 7, writing this 15 queries and forming this set of record properly, whatever we saw here, this will definitely take an hour to write.
Okay.
He will take definitely 1 hour to write and test it thoroughly. Sometimes what will happen, the foreign key will be missed out. He can insert into address, but the address zip table will come as null. This foreign key in the address zip will be null. He'll be wondering why this column might come as null.
Okay.
So because the select would have been wrong, or there might be something else. So there are lots of errors. Earlier we used to have, right? I faced these things before Hibernate. I used to write in JDBC only. That is why I tell what is the like difference.
Okay. And one more thing, Rajesh, I have one small confusion here.
Yeah.
These connections will be done by Java guys, right? The JDBC guys, not the SQL guys.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, that SQL part is different, but we will contact the SQL team.
You will contact the SQL team for writing the mapping.
Okay, what are the attributes? What are the things? Okay,
Yeah,
just for the information.
Yes, you will ask what is the primary key column, what is the relationship. For this diagram, you will contact the SQL guy, this schema diagram.
Okay.
Tell me which is a parent and which is the child, which is having one to many. So here I have to put set, here I have to give object. And for this table, here I have to put set, here I have to give object. For that information, you will contact the SQL guy to know about the table. But if you know the business logic, that is also not needed. If he gives that table schema diagram, you can see, okay, this is address ID foreign key. That's all. Clear?
Okay. Yeah. Rajesh, for this, it's need a lot of practice, and it's
Yeah,
like, it's like.
Yes, definitely. It needs lots of practice. You have to be really. You should have you should have
Just
come
writing
across.
the code, it doesn't make sense. Just assuming the tables and knowing the flow and from where it is going, and
Exactly. Yes. So I'll move very basic. So you should have come across lots of errors. You should be seeing lots of errors. Only then you'll learn. Okay, what is this? These are the criteria queries. I'll cut this. I'll paste it in the DAOIMPL as comment. Okay. All right. So now we will see the fetch. I'll share this folder with you today in the chat. So whoever is there can download this and they can make use of it when they go over the videos. Okay, Hibernate util. Why? Because I moved to a different package. That's all. No, 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 no. I'm not using here. Okay. So this is good. All right. Now I will go and write a fetch method in the DAO. I'll write public. I want to fetch list of T001 user. Fetch T001 users. Yeah, this I will be getting session factory as an argument. So return, I have to return something. I'll create a dummy object here equal to null and I will do a return T001 user list and I will return this. Okay, so this is good and I will call this method from the example for fetch user. I'll pass the SF and whatever has been returned, I have to get it back here. T001 users list and I have to, okay, I have to form an object DAO IMPL object equal to new DAO IMPL. Now DAO IMPL object dot the fetch user and here I will give a sysout of T001 user list. So far good. I'll go to the user to see if the toString is overridden. Yes, great. I'll go to the address and see if the toString is overridden. No, I don't have it. I have to do the toString and I will return the return address plus address plus this one plus address zip set. I'll return the set as well. Cannot return a value void. No, no, no. It is why it is void. It is string only. Yeah. Override string. 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 To string. Duplicate. Do I have a toString here? toString. No. Cannot reduce usually image method from the object. Okay. I should give a spray public. toString address plus address zip. Super. Now I'll go to address zip again. I'll override the toString source, override implement method, toString. I'll go here and what I have to return the zip code. And zip code. Okay. one thing I have to verify here in the user object, am I returning the address here? I have to return the address set also. I will do this one. So toString in detail I have done in video 2 or 3, I think. So you can watch it out if you have any questions on like how it works. In detail I've explained. So okay, this is good. Everything is good. Now I form an object of DOIMPL. I call the fetch user method. I'm having null. So here we will be writing the logic for fetch. The Hibernate fetch will happen here. So what I have to do? SF dot get session, get current session or get session. What is that? Let me, this is syntax only. I'll copy it. So session object. I'll form the session object from the session factory. Then session OB dot create criteria T001 user dot class. Now I have to equate it to a criteria object equal to this much. Then criteria object dot list, and I have to capture it in this variable, and I return this. That's all. Our work is done. Now let's run this and see. Okay, see here, I just did one select. Correct? I am only fetching user object. See how many select has gone? User, the user's address.
But the thing
That
here, Rajesh, first of all, we need to come to know about JDBC, the connections, and with that base only, we can try to analyze here what's the thing we have to do just by comparing.
no. You can just see without knowing JDBC. I'm trying to I'm fetching the user table. Okay, when I fetch the user table, what should be there? It should come only the user record. Okay, let me reduce it 1 second. I'll give user ID 1. In specific, I'll give user ID 1. Criteria. I showed you the equivalent query, right? Criteria to add restrictions dot equals user underscore ID comma 1. So we'll give this, which means I am asking to fetch the user with the ID 1. Okay, now let's do 28. That's what we inserted last week, right? 28. So I'll ask the Hibernate to fetch user 28. So what it should do, it should be fetching me only the user table. But if you see the query, it will fetch the address, it will fetch the corresponding address zip also. That's what I'm trying to tell here. It is not only fetching me the user. The insert was saving into user, address, and address zip, right? That is a parent-child relation. When I was saving the user, Hibernate found that there is a set inside the user, so it inserted into address. And there was a set inside the address, so inserted into the address zip. The same way, when I fetch the user, it is fetching the relationship table also. What is the table? Address table. It is fetching the two address. It is also fetching the address zip. That's what I'm showing here.
Okay. Rajesh, the zip means the whole table, right? What telling?
Not the not the whole table. See, what I am doing, I want the user ID 28. So when I go here, 28 is the user. For the 28 here, for the 28, there are two addresses.
Okay, two address. It will come like
so address 1 and address 1 and address 2 has come. Okay, this is the user 28. Address 1 and address 2 has come. And on the address 1, 27 and 28, right? If I go to zip, see 27, all the four, okay, which means save, there is a problem. All the four address got saved into the same.
Or same 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It should be
Zip ID.
227 and 228.
Zip ID. Okay.
Correct. Somewhere the mapping is wrong. No problem. But if you see here, that is why it is telling for address 2, there is no child, empty. But for address 1, I have 4 children here. So this is called cascading. We saw a word as cascade, right?
Okay.
I said I will tell you later. In the user, there when we give one to many, cascade is equal to cascade all. Cascade means when a save is happening to user, you save this also. When a save is happening in the address, you save the child also. If I give cascade none, Hibernate will not save the children. Even when fetching, Hibernate will not fetch. So you should know what is cascade. There are different things. You can go to documentation and read what is detach, merge. It will merge with the parent object. It will persist. It will refresh. It will remove. So there are various things. So this is what you should be knowing what it is. This is what cascading is. When I fetch the user object, it is cascading. Cascading means propagating to the next level and fetching the address. With the address, it is fetching the address zip also. So with just one
That
fetch,
means address to another address.
because it is a foreign key.
Okay.
So one address and 4 address zip under it. Actually, let us see why the save happened wrongly. I will example for save user. All I have to do is DAOINPL dot save user. I have to call. Okay, let us see. I'll comment this for now. And in save user, what is wrong? Let's analyze. The parent is correct. The first address is correct. The first address zip is having the first address parent. First address parent. I am adding this one and this one. This is set correctly, and the set I am setting it to the address object. So for good. Now the second address object, the same user, and the parent is address 1. Okay, that is also correct. The zip 3 and 4 I am setting into a set, that is also correct. And the set zip 2 I am adding to the address object. Address object 1. And this address I am adding it to the set. The user I am adding the address set. This is correct only. This is the first address, and this is the first address, and this is the second address. First address set. This is the second address. This is the first address object. Okay, this is the second address object, and this is the first address object. The parent is set correctly. This is added here, and this is added here. This is also correct. Address 1 is correct. 3 is also correct. 4 is also correct. Okay, I have added into the first zip. I should be creating, I have a second zip, right? That is the problem. So everything is added into the same object. You see here, This was the mistake I did. I should have added to the second set. Now everything should work correctly.
Okay. Sincerely, okay.
Yeah. Now if we go, the
You can see here.
yeah, the latest address, the latest user will be 29, I guess. And that should have two address. Each address should have two zips. If I give 29, if I give 29 here, I will know. Instead of going into the table, I can see here itself. See, after insert, I got it 1. Oh my god, 3 is mapped to the second still. Still somewhere there is a problem. You see here, 1 has come with the address. Remaining 3 are associated with the other address. It should be 2. 2, which means address zip is added wrongly. The parent to the address zip is given wrongly. Okay, let's see. Address zip, the parent is address. This is good. For the address zip 2, the parent is address. This is good. For this address zip, it is this parent. And for address zip 4, it is correct. Then to address zip, okay, here also I have to give address zip 2, right? I did wrong. These two are added to one zip. These two address zips are added to this zip. Okay, so now it should come. So it should be 29. I'll increment and see 29, 30 already gone. Now new ID will be 31. Let us see. So this program I will zip and I will share it with you. Okay, the insert is done. Super. Now it's working. So 2 and 2. You got at least some
Rajesh.
preliminary idea, right? What is Hibernate? What are its capacity? That is what is needed. Because at the first class itself, it is not possible to know everything. But at least if you can grasp some concepts, it is very good. So I will compress and send the entire zip itself. R sample.rar, and I will share in the chat. So whoever is there in the chat can use this file. There it is, JDBC example. This has both all the files whichever we discussed from Monday. So JDBC, JDBC example, select query, update, prepared statement, regular statements, Hibernate basics, criteria, and mapping, everything is there. It's a complete working program. You can just import to your Eclipse and run, and you should see whatever I'm showing you now. It's all connected to the database also. All the configurations are given. It's all embedded. So just, you have received the file?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we'll pause here for today then. We have something else to be like finished in the Hibernate standalone. So we'll see that tomorrow. We'll see more about this fetch part. I want to show something on lazy. So we'll discuss about that tomorrow, and with that we'll wind up the Hibernate basics. Not basics. It's actually we have gone into advanced, but and then the standalone level we'll wind up. So next week we will. Yeah, next week we will start using this Hibernate implement in the web application, whatever we developed. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you for joining.
All right.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah.